Please note that the content of this episode has explicit language and is not suitable for underage listeners. Hi, I'm CJ, and I've been doing phone sex for 24 years. Let's get started. I want to thank you for listening to Secrets from a Phone Sex Queen. Everything you always wanted to know about phone sex and more. Please reach out to me with your questions and comments at phonesexqueen1@gmail.com. If you're listening on YouTube, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications when a new podcast is dropped. First off, I want to express my gratitude for the people who have written me with their comments and for the people who have wanted to talk to me as a client. I hate to use the word client, but people who have listened to me on here who want to talk to me. I want to thank you all for that. My listeners have been so nice and I truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you very much. I've had a couple new callers from the platform that were, to me, very interesting. The first one I found to be kind of annoying. To be honest, I always hate saying that, but the reason why I say that is because I probably mentioned this in a podcast before. How can a man derive pleasure when he doesn't stop talking? Most of my calls, I would say, not all, but most, are what I would call a back and forth conversation. You say something, I say something, or I talk for a while, you talk for a while. But when the caller wants to do 99.9% of the talking, which of course I enjoy, but how can that be a turn on to the caller? I mean, if you're calling me and I'm not talking to you, I suppose hearing me moan is good enough. But it's still, after all this time, so strange to me. I'll give you an example. So this caller calls and tells me how cute I look, how sweet I look. He looks into my eyes. He loves my eyes. He loves my hair. All he wants to do is pleasure me. And he kept saying, "You're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute." Just lay back and relax, and I will do everything. That does sound good to me because I'm the one that does most of the work on most of the calls. So it's nice when someone wants to take care of me and take over. However, this to me was borderline obnoxious. I'm so sorry for saying that, but it's true. Like I said, so it started out with "You're so cute, love your hair, love your eyes." That's kind of how he sounded. Lay back, relax. Then it was, small kisses. And I want to just have you lay your head on my stomach and rub your hair. And it all sounds so nice. But he didn't take a breath. Not a breath. At one point, it was like, "I'm going to nibble on your clit. I'm going to lick inside of you." And it goes on. And then it's like, "I want you to orgasm." Okay, I'll orgasm on demand. So I do after a minute or two. And then he's like, "But I'm going to do it again and again and again and again." After 3 orgasms, he tries for another one. And I said, "No, I can't do it." And he gets quiet all of a sudden after I said I couldn't do the 4th. And then he says, "Oh, that was great." And I said, "You were so quiet. I didn't hear anything." And he said, "Oh, no, that was a very strong orgasm. You're so cute, and your eyes, you're so cute, and everything was so cute and cute." After the "you're so cute," I said, "But again, I didn't hear anything." "Oh, yes, it was fabulous." I said, "Okay." And he said, "Thank you so much." And he hung up. I was puzzled. I was really puzzled. But it was a 40-minute call, and I just sat there kind of scratching my head, and I said to myself, I have to catch my breath because he was just talking so quickly and wouldn't stop. When someone's just chatting away and they don't stop, you're like, I got to catch my breath. That person's not even pausing for a second. So that was a little different. I have men like that on occasion, but that was like speedy and really to the point of exhaustion, really. So that was one of my new callers. I said, "Oh, I look forward to talking to you again." And he goes, "Oh, it was so nice," and hung up. I got the feeling that he probably wouldn't call again. And if he doesn't, that's fine. It won't break my heart. But it was just a little too much for me. But if he does call again, I'll take it, of course. The other one really wanted to get to know me. He was one of those people that asked a bunch of questions. What do you like? What don't you like? Are you married? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a fuck buddy? Do you have? I kind of like those calls because they get to know you and then they know what direction to go in. Although they do ask the same questions as people ask, like, what do you like? That's a broad question. What do I like? I like a lot of things. What turns you on? That's also a broad question. What kind of calls do you like to take? That's a broad question. What kind of role play do you like? That's a broad question. I always answer vague. I'm just waiting for the caller to hang up because I'm not pinpointing what I like. Because if I pinpoint what I like when they haven't given me any indication of what they like, then I run the risk of the caller hanging up because that's not what they like. I want them to tell me what they like, and then I'll tell them if that is okay with me. So I basically say I like any role play. I'm into most anything, but I'm not dominating because I can kind of say I like anything. And then if I say the one thing I don't like, then they can go, oh, okay, well, what about this? And when they say, what about this? Then I know that's what they like. So I kind of sneak it in where I don't like being dominating, but everything else is fine. With this caller, what he wanted was me to be a relative. I've mentioned before that's against the rules. I get very concerned about being set up, get caught, by the platform. If they have anybody doing these type of calls to see if you'll break the rules. And that's really paranoid of me because there's so many women on at the same time. But I try really hard to steer people away from what the rules are. Like I said, I have people who want me to be young. Young is relative. If you're 60, why can't I be 30 instead of 16? And I tell them that I'm supposed to be 37. So if I'm 37 and you're in your 50s or 60s, why can't I be 25 or 30? Which is younger, but it's not taboo younger. And that's what people want. So there are a lot of times where I feel like this is a setup and I have to be really careful what I say. And that's, again, just me being paranoid. I had a quasi-regular caller call me the other night with something that I shouldn't have talked about. And I don't think I really went there, but it felt a little sneaky. And what was weird about it too is that he tried calling me about 8 times and his phone wouldn't connect with me. He would call, I'd answer, he'd hang up, or it got disconnected. And finally he got through. And I figured, well, if it was a setup, he would call another girl, right? I mean, maybe it was just my line, but when he called me back, he said, oh, it was my Wi-Fi. And he wanted me to be a distant relative. Like I said, I'll do that for you sometimes. It feels weird and creepy, but I'll oblige sometimes. It was far enough away of a relative that it was okay. It wasn't like a mother or father or anything like that. I'm very aware of every single call I get and what the caller says. And if I feel creeped out, I'll just bail by saying something so that they'll hang up on me. Bailing means I'm just in my head going, I can't do this, so I have to steer the conversation in a different way. I will, like I said to you in previous podcasts, I will never hang up on anyone. I want them to hang up on me. He finally got through. We did have a conversation and I did work it out and it was fine. That worked out well. I have to tell you that I've been feeling bad lately about not being available for callers when they want me to be. I have a day job. And then I have the phone sex job. And then I have my podcast. And then I have my personal life. It's a lot. I'm not whining and I'm not complaining at all. I'm merely stating that there's a lot going on at the moment. There's always a lot going on. But at the moment, there's a lot more in my personal life that I don't need to explain. However, I've been getting a lot of emails for people wanting to talk to me on and off the platform. And for those of you who are listening, I want you to really know that I want to be able to talk to you whenever you need or want to talk to me. My wish and goal is to be available whenever someone wants to talk to me. It's not always possible, and I want to truly apologize to you who have been in touch with me. I try to keep phone dates. I try to keep a schedule every week, but every week is different. Some weeks I'm on and available every night. Some weeks I'm not on or available every night, so I'm really sorry for repeating myself, but I feel terrible and I want to apologize for those of you who have been trying to get in touch with me. I absolutely try to make time for you. You're very important to me. For those on the platform who want me, I write to them and I tell them I'm really sorry. I'll be available on this day. Sometimes that day doesn't work and something gets in the way. This is important to me. You all are very important to me. I can't express that enough. And I just want you to know that I'll always do my very best to talk to you when you're available. And just wanted to let you know that I sincerely apologize for not being there when you want me to be. Please be patient. This won't last forever. I will get back to you and set up a time to talk to you, and hopefully that'll make up for it. So I'll make up for it in other ways. You'll see when we talk, but I apologize and appreciate you hanging in there with me. I wanted to throw this out there that if there is any topic I haven't discussed yet, please contact me. Let me know what you want to hear. I know there are things that are new or you're confused or whatever. Please let me know what you want to hear so I can bring that up and discuss it. I mentioned in my last podcast that I haven't heard from any of my diaper boys or adult babies or anything. And sure enough, this week, one of my diaper boys called me and I was shocked. I think I put that out in the universe that I hadn't heard from him. And there he was, one of them. And he just loves being in his Pampers. So we had a little discussion about that. He wears them out under his clothes and just loves the feeling of the pamper and the sound and all of that. So I wanted to let you know that after not hearing from any of them for a while, there they were, one of them anyway. And I mentioned it and voila, he called me. So it's interesting how that works. I think it's so odd. I also wanted to put it out there real quick that although people have pictures of me on the platform, I mean, you guys that are listening to my podcast, you don't know what I look like to these people on the platform. But I do not feel compelled to ask for or receive pictures of a caller. I like not knowing what my callers look like and having a picture in my mind based on the voice. I rather have that than headshots or dick pics. That is not necessary. It's appreciated that people ask before they send them, but it's not necessary. And the other thing is people are asking me to watch them on WhatsApp or whatever place where I can watch them and not show my face. I've mentioned this in previous podcasts that I did webcam before. I'm not interested in that again. So I don't want to watch a man jerk off. I've done it plenty, but I'm on the phone for a reason. And hopefully you'll respect me as much as I respect you and your wishes. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. You all have been very super respectful and I greatly appreciate it. You've been very nice to me, so I can't thank you enough for your kindness and your curiosity, but I'm not going to watch you, so I apologize for that. I do have a question this week from a caller, and that is, how long are you going to do this, meaning phone sex? And it was also a follow-up to, how long do you think you can do this? Yeah, I've thought about that, actually. And there's no reason to stop until I'm forced to, or the industry changes or something to that effect, but I have no desire to stop until I have to. I don't want to leave my regulars. I like them. They can leave me, but I'm not going to leave them. And like I said, it's an easy gig, so I have no intention of stopping. As long as my voice doesn't change too much. If when I turn 80, if I sound 80, I can't pull off that I'm 40 or 50. At 80, God, I hope I'm not doing this while I'm 80. And if I am 80, I'm sorry, I just have to laugh. I'm going to do it as long as I can. I can't imagine being 80 and doing phone sex, but hey, people like that too, right? So I don't know. So I'm going to do it as long as I can. I don't have any plans on quitting at the moment. If AI comes and takes over in 5 or 10 years, then obviously I'll have to quit. But unless somebody pisses me off or I get kicked off, I am not quitting. So I am here for you, for me. I'm here. That's all for this week. I want to thank you for listening to Secrets from a Phone Sex Queen, everything you always wanted to know about phone sex and more. Please reach out to me with your questions and comments at phonesexqueen1@gmail.com. I love your emails. Thank you. Thank you. New episodes drop every Monday. Check me out on Facebook at CJ's Podcast, Instagram at PhoneQueen1. If you're listening on YouTube, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new podcast is dropped. And until next time, stay sexy.